excited because everything there is like nature made, and there's a bunch of archways, things made with erosion and everything. I just can't believe how those things are made with erosion, so I'm super excited. By the way, I'll be showing you all of these nature-made structures. For example, like this, you see the mountains in the very back of the thing. They're nature-made, so I'll be showing you all of these structures through the way, and I hope you're excited. So this is just a drive, so I'm going to say a bit about the Grand Canyon. In my next video, it's going to be a more detailed view of the Grand Canyon, or a more detailed description. So like the closest, I'm doing this from Las Vegas, and the closest entry point from Las Vegas to Grand Canyon is the West Rim. And there's a bunch of rims, like the West Rim, the North Rim, and the South Rim. Each of them, like this drive takes you through parts of Arizona and past other noteworthy spots like the Hoover Dam, Lake Med, and Boulder City. I'll probably be showing you the Hoover Dam, I'm pretty sure I will, and maybe Boulder City. The Grand Canyon West Rim is like 128 miles from Las Vegas. The approximate driving time to get there is 2.5 hours, and there's free parking and complimentary shuttles offered at the Grand Canyon West Rim. The Grand Canyon West Rim is owned by the Hualapai Indian tribe, so private cars aren't allowed in this part of the canyon. And then there's the South Rim, which is 280 miles from Las Vegas, and the driving time takes approximately 4.5 hours. In this parking lot, it's 4 major parking lots conveniently located near the visitor center, bike rentals, shuttles, and a cafe. And the South Rim is the most visited spot of the Grand Canyon, so get there early to beat the crowds. The Grand Canyon North Rim is the last one, and it's 268 miles from Las Vegas. It's the driving time to get there is approximately 5 hours and 45 minutes. In the parking, this is actually limited parking, and it's available at the North Rim with additional parking at the Grand Canyon Lodge and the North Rim campground. And this rim is also closed during winter, which makes it a bit more popular, even though it's farther away. And the fees are $35 per vehicle, $25 per motorcycle, and much more. And the Grand Canyon North Rim, almost a 5-hour car ride from Las Vegas, it's definitely a ride to be dedicated for it. But if you can tolerate it, it'll reward you with smaller crowds, and you can take more photos of the scenic drive. For more than a century, tourists from all over the world have visited the Grand Canyon to experience the amazing views. And it was first protected in 1893 as a reserve and later as a national monument. But it wasn't until February 26, 1919, that the Grand Canyon became a national park. We have celebrated nearly 100 years of protecting this special place. As we go through the road, you can see more mountains building up, which signifies we're kind of closer to the Grand Canyon, as it's a big nature-made formation. And the clouds almost look like snow mountains, which is really cool. But you can just see a slight lift from the ground, but they still look super cool. And those are cumulonimbus clouds, which are puffy clouds, but they can cause storms. But today wasn't a stormy day, and so it was one of the most perfect times to visit the Grand Canyon, as I'm pretty sure it would be incredibly hot if we visited during the summer. So we're visiting during the winter. I'm feeling a bit chilly already, so I don't know what the weather will be there, but there's also sun out, so I'm just hoping for the best, a normal temperature. And when we get there, I'll show you the weather there. During the Grand Canyon ride, there's a lot of stops you can make for rest or just super beautiful views. The first one is Lake Med, and you won't be far into the Grand Canyon Road when you start seeing this lake. And this lake lies on the Colorado River and is flanked by beautiful mountains. it's like the perfect photo option. It's exactly like any other lake, except it's covered with mountains and it's a super beautiful view. The second one is Hoover Dam, and it's a big concrete arch on the border of Arizona and Nevada. It states it might not sound that interesting, but this spot has a load of historical significance and it's pretty impressive to see. The third stop is Chloride, Arizona. This is Arizona and it has a whole lot of history. It's a city of chloride and it's the oldest mining town in Arizona. It's a bit of history here and some really cool things. There's some roadside junk art and quirky murals. Oh my god, this view is amazing, guys! Look at the life in this! And this is a bit of the view and it's super amazing because like the mountains, they're like mounds of hills, but they're actually real mountains. They're not just like small hills, and it's made fully from rock, so I really don't know how that formed. With water erosion, it's supposed to be a bit sharper. It's like one of the best views I've ever seen. Now back to a few more scenic viewpoints. The fourth one is Kingman in Arizona again, and it's also known for its history as well as the hiking there, and it's worth parking up to take a look around. And depending how much time you have, you can make a stop here and hit the Mohave Museum of History and Arts, and it's a really good museum, as I was told, and it has a lot of history there. And then the next one is Alpacas of the Southwest. And in Kingman, you can take the option and go here to, and you reach a ranch here, and it's home to 37 alpacas waiting to be fed, petted, and photographed. The sixth stop is Keepers of the Wild. This is, you can surprisingly do a safari here, and the Keepers of the Wild is a sanctuary for rescue animals and offers tours for $20. And here you might be imagining the usual dogs and cats scenario, but here you'll expect to see tigers, lions, bears, and wallabies. And this is a view you have to see. Oh my god, guys. Look at this. It's a road, but on both sides there's mountains. Wow. The right side is just filled with mounds and small mountains. Look at this. These are a bunch of rocky hills. Like there's mountains behind the other and the other. It's just never ending. This is a beautiful view, guys. But still, back to our stops. The next one, or the seventh stop, is Seligman, Arizona. Whether you're driving from the Grand Canyon to Las Vegas or the other way around, consider making Seligman, aka the birthplace of Route 66. It throws you all the way back to the 1950s because it's retained all its otherworldly charm. In fact, if you ever watch the Disney movie Cars, you'll know exactly what to expect, because rumor has it Pixar may have drawn a little inspiration from this place. It's a dusty desert town and there's only 500 residents, so it's really quiet. So there's no queues when you grab a milkshake or anything. The eighth stop is Williams, Arizona. And before you take a swift turn north to like the final point of your journey from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, pull into the town of Williams, and it calls itself the gateway to the Grand Canyon, and it marks the last part of the famous Route 66. And it is, again, another one sending you onto what feels like a movie set, this time to the Wild West. The ninth is one of my favorites. It's the Kaibab National Forest. Because I love forests and nature and all of this stuff, and if you have a bit of time before you reach the Grand Canyon, stop off at the Kaibab National Forest. Think of the forest as a primer for the breathtaking views you're about to see in the canyon itself. This forest is 1.6 million acres of lush greenery, making it the perfect spot for a quick hike or picnic. You can definitely get some great views from here. Last but not least great stop is Tusayan. It's the closest pit stop to make from the Grand Canyon National Park. It's the town of Tusayan. It sits just by the South Rim entrance, so it's a good alternative for accommodation if everything closer is fully booked. It's quite small, this town, and it's made up of hotels and restaurants, and so while it's not really a good place with lots of things to do, it's a good place to consider parking and then taking the shuttle bus up to the entrance. This is a good spot on the drive from Vegas to Grand Canyon if you just want somewhere to chill. The 11th is the Grand Canyon itself. You definitely need a few days in the Grand Canyon. And this is a trip to the Grand Canyon. So all these stops are great, but the Grand Canyon is the ultimate adventure.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drive my
way into the end of the video, but I hope you guys like the scenery, as in the next video I'm going to be showing you the Grand Canyon itself. But anyways, I hope you liked the video. Bye and see you next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.